After taking a look at the minor league players last episode, we are back here in the majors. And for the first time, we will be facing off against a division rival here in our MLB the Show 23 draft only franchise, the Minnesota Twins. Our opponent today. This will be the third game in a set of three. The Twins have won each of the first two games. So here we are trying to avoid the sweep on the road here. We've scored only 2 runs in each of these first 2 games. So I'd like to get the offense going a little bit more here in this third one. But 5-6, or 5-7 now, excuse me. Not a terrible start to the year considering we are the worst or second worst team in baseball. Depending on who you ask, I should say. We will be facing off against Shane Baz, a very talented pitcher. Not having the best of starts, but that's just through 2 games, so it's really hard to tell how a pitcher is doing this early into the season. Carl McIntyre, of course, leading us off as always, and he will get this ball through the infield. A grounder single to lead us off here today. Alden Evans hitting only .213 thus far this year. Considering the only thing he really offers is contact, that's not super promising as he strikes out here. Bringing up Alberto Rincon. I mean, if I say, Alden Evans has been disappointing, Rincon has been even more so. 114 is abysmal for a guy hitting in your 3 spot especially. Mosquera also not hitting super well here as we get a stolen base from McIntyre. I think that's just the common theme. And it's kind of crazy that we're 5-7, even with pretty much everybody, it seems like, hitting below maybe what I would expect from them. But McIntyre getting all the way to 3rd here, showing off why he leads off for us. Mosquera has a chance to bring him home at will, get over the glove of the shortstop. So Mosquera going to pick himself up an RBI here to start this game off with 2 outs. Nice to see your best player coming through in the big moments. Jason Gill, though, would end the inning here with a lazy fly over to right field. So 1-0 here. Like to get the scoring started early here in these games. Pitching for us today will be Juan Lima. He has been very good through his first 2 starts. Hoping we can see him continue his hot start here in this spotlight game. Coming off a game, of course, the first game we watched at the majors, we shut our opponent out. So it's going to be a tough act to follow in that sense, but we're not going to put that kind of pressure on him. We just want to see a good outing from him today, and he's going to strike out Lawrence White. I remember Lawrence White coming out being one of the, ready now kind of first base hitters in the draft. I can't remember what year it was. Was it just this last draft? Is he another guy kind of like Darren Roman, who's instantly playing? I think it might have been. All these drafts kind of melt together sometimes for me, if I'm being honest. Carlos Correa would get on base. Longtime Minnesota player now in this series as we are in 2028, and he remains with the Twins. Another longtime Twin here in Byron Buxton, though, is going to strand their man on first base, so we will keep the score at 0 for the Minnesota Twins. 2-1. Darren Roman is hitting below 100 on the year. Definitely needs to get himself a hit or 2, and he will get that in this game in his first at-bat. If he continues to struggle, definitely going to be willing to send him down for sure. He is 18 years old. Thought he was an MLB ready hitter, but he has struggled. But I want to give him a little bit more time before I make a decision like that. Victor Benitez is going to line out to left. So a scoreless second for the boys. Lima with a beautiful curveball strikes out Yandy Diaz here on that lower inside corner. He has been definitely keeping up that hot start so far through the first 2 innings. 2 scoreless for Minnesota. They couldn't even get anything going there in the second. Lima just mowing through him here. 1 hit allowed through 2 innings. No runs. No walks. few strikeouts in there as well. I like what I'm seeing from him. Alden Evans here going to ground out low in the zone to Lawrence White. 2 outs here in the third, looking like it's going to be a quiet inning for us, and Rincon is going to confirm that with his fly ball to center. So much like we've seen many times in this series, looking like a low-scoring game so far, but there's still plenty of baseball here for that to change. Jake Rogers, not a great AB there for him, looking at a curveball that was... It was low in the zone, but it was very, very easily in the zone. Lawrence White here this time going to get himself on base. Bring up Correa, the only one to get the hit in his first AB, but this time he will be out. Jason Gill 0 for 1 today. Gets a very hittable pitch. Lifts it into the gap, but it had too much underneath it, so we're looking like another quiet inning here. Kevin Sandoval, he's been our best player thus far this season, but he is 0 for 2 today. Lima back up on the mound pitching here. This is going to be a fly ball into foul territory. Russell Mosquera handles it nicely over there. Bringing up Byron Buxton. He strikes out on a beautiful four-seamer high and outside. Lima has definitely had his best stuff today, and it's been fun to watch. But Yandy Diaz will get that one to touchdown. Jason Gill, playing right field for us this season, is unable to make the diving attempt. And so an extra base hit, the first of the season, or the first double at least, for Yandy Diaz. Kepler nearly taking this 1 yard, but it will hook foul, and so Lima almost gave up the lead there, but he will allow the walk eventually. However, Tyrone Taylor unable to keep the momentum going for the Twins. A fourth scoreless inning for Lima. Darren Roman is going to be looking at that nice fastball from Shane Baz there. 0-2 pitch for Benito Vasquez, and that's 2 consecutive strikeouts for Baz. Trying to avoid getting struck out on the side. Victor Benitez is going to do just that with that single grounder right up the middle. It's also going to flip over our order. McIntyre 1 for 2 today. That one was not his best stuff. And he's going to end the 5th. So we've got 4.5 innings through this ball game. Halfway through, it's still just 1-0. And Lima, who has been excellent to start this year, tough break literally and figuratively. So maybe a broken something in his arm is definitely not something you like to see. Richie Rivera would come in and on his first pitch would get a strikeout though, hoping to keep up the pitching momentum we've seen in this game. Here he's going to get his second out with Victor Benitez making a nice play over at shortstop for us. Top of the order up for the Twins, but Lawrence White, lazy fly ball over to Alden Evans, ends the 5th. So nice job from Richie Rivera to come in probably unexpectedly. I don't even know if we were warming him up with how Juan Lima was playing. They're finishing off a nice inning. Alberto Rincon getting on base with a little bloop hit there. And he's gonna get a stolen base. Now, I want you to watch on this replay how this man runs. And just to see how embarrassing it is to allow this man to steal a base, obviously his first of the season. Look at this man run. How are you allowing that guy to steal a bag? I don't know. Pretty embarrassing if you ask me. Mosquera is going to get this one to touchdown. He's the only one who's brought across a run in this game. And with Rincon going home, he's going to do it again. Mosquera being one of the few bright spots. No surprise there. He is our best player. Gill will avoid the double play, but just barely. Going to be a fielder's choice there. Bringing up Sandoval. Gets some lift under this one, but it doesn't look like it's going to have quite enough carry out at the warning track. He flies out. 6th inning now. Bryson Stott going down swinging for the second out of the inning. And then Byron Buxton gonna strike out for the second time in this game as well. Rivera doing a nice job continuing the good pitching of this game. Now into the 7th, Benito Vasquez gets on base. Victor Benitez can't quite squeeze it through the infield, and so he is out. McIntyre cannot continue this inning for us, so 5 scoreless innings out of 7 for us so far. With Mosquera being the only one that really is bringing in the clutch in this game, but we do a nice job making the 7th inning much like it was for the first 6 for the Twins. 2-0 remains the score. Looking to maybe get a little bit of cushion here in the 8th as we have a leadoff walk. And we're going to get another here with Rincon. Also walking his way to first base. Mosquera, he's been bringing home all the runs today. He's looking to do it again. This one lifted deep to center. It is not caught by Byron Buxton. It's off the wall a little bit further left, and that one could have left the yard. But Mosquera is going to have to settle for the RBI double, bringing home all 3 runs for us so far. But Jason Gill, nobody out, 2-man in scoring position. He's looking to bring home a couple more. That one thrown to second, so it will be just a single for Jason Gill, but he brings home runs 4 and 5 for us. Lineup doing a good job of walking here, as that's our 3rd here of the inning. Nice discipline there. But Benito Vasquez going to get called here for the 6-4-3 double play out of the 8th. Fast forwarding now to the bottom of the 9th, we are still holding on to a shutout. We might have our first 2 spotlight games in MLB here. Both be shutouts. All we need to do is close out this 9th here. Byron Buxton grounds it straight to first. We have got ourselves the 3-6-3 double play. We're just 1 out away from our 2nd consecutive spotlight game shutouts. And Yandy Diaz pops it over to short, and we're going to do just that. Now, I don't know if our pitchers are of the quality that we should be consistently shutting guys out, and so looking at sliders might be something that we do. I know I've talked about maybe touching sliders for a couple of seasons now, and I still haven't done it, but I really think that for the majors, it's usually not so bad. And we scored 5 runs, so I think it's definitely possible to have good offense. And it's CPU versus CPU, so our team is not favored in any way. I would definitely want to get a little bit bigger of a sample size. That may include playing some games off camera just to see if this continues, because I do want to have higher likelihood for high scoring games. We did see in the minors just last episode that our pitcher was allowing some runs. So I don't know if it's necessarily slider, as it is. We just got lucky of our first 2 spotlight games being shutouts. Juan Lima going to be out 1 to 2 months, which is really unfortunate. He was probably, it was super early in the season, but he was the favorite for Surprise Player of the Year. Now looking forward, we would end up simulating through the rest of April here. And we would lose series to Baltimore and Philadelphia. We would end up sweeping Tampa Bay. And then we would lose a couple others here. We're down 2-1 to the Rays, but it's not 100%. We might end up tying that one up, but we'd have to win. The last game of that series, of course. But in simulation, we got ourselves a major injury. It was only a matter of time. It felt like a ticking time bomb when Carl McIntyre was finally going to get an extended injury. It happened here. I'm honestly super surprised it hasn't happened earlier. Carl McIntyre now out for at least 44 days, as that's how much time he has on the injured list. Unfortunate, but I can't say it was unexpected. The last thing I want to do here with this episode is take a quick look at the draft. Preview Johnny Higgins. I haven't done a ton in the draft yet. We're still pretty early, but I did scout Johnny Higgins, and he is absolutely 100% generational. Taking a look at how Vision says 61 and 56 at the top makes me think he's going to be one lower for everything, because every generational prospect has 60 Vision and 55 Discipline, which means he's going to be an 82 overall generational prospect. from everything that I've seen with this game, which is going to be sick. There's a question of fit, but as a comment said in a previous video, you just take the best players, find a way, whether we move Mosquera or whatever it would take to get this player on the team, you just take the best players. And so far, that's obviously Johnny Higgins. Who knows, maybe there's another really sick or maybe even generational prospect that we can find later. Doubtful, but there you have it. It looks like Darren Roman and Alberto Rincon have both turned things around in our simulation. Mosquera, his average is up. Pringle has started to struggle a little bit. Sandoval's come down to earth a little bit, but still doing awesome. A few home runs for Jason Gill. So the offense is definitely picked up for us, which is good. Maybe pitching is cooled down, or it seemed like our pitching was pitching out of its mind to start the year, and our offense wasn't keeping up. But things are maybe a little bit more as I would have expected them now, going back to the norm here, which you would expect with once you increase the sample size a bit. But that's all I've got for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back soon with another, as Esteban Acevedo is doing pretty well at AA. Maybe he gets a call up at some point in the majors. But a new episode will be coming out soon, and I will see you then.